2023, September call. Atomicals go to
Say hello. Hi. Hello. Can you see us?
Yes, I see everyone. Hello. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you for taking the time joining us. We are in Hong Kong. So yeah, we are so excited you are joining us live. So we already collect some questions. Maybe yeah, I think for people who don't know Atomicals, maybe you can spend 1 minute to just do a pretty short introduction, and then I have some questions that we will do a Q&A. Okay.
For sure. Can you guys all hear me all right?
Yes. Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Fantastic. Well, thank you for having me, and it's my pleasure to speak with you all, and it's my honor that there's such an exciting opportunity before us, and for all of us to get together to make Bitcoin great together. My name is Arthur. I'm the founder and creator of the Atomicals protocol. I created it almost a year ago in a desire to create programmable digital objects on Bitcoin and to create a new way of smart contracting and tokenization on Bitcoin. And Atomicals has, some of you may know, has grown quite a bit with a number of tokens and NFT projects. And we have an exciting roadmap ahead, or new features coming out that enable smart contracts and more interactions on the Bitcoin blockchain, further propelling Bitcoin into the Web3 realm, not just as a store of value, but also as an actual programmable platform for Web3.
Cool. Thank you for the introduction. I think because today the Meetup is a Atomical Meetup. I think majority of the audience, they are quite aware of Atomicals. So I will just go straight into some of the questions we collect before the event, and also after the questions, and we can take some live questions from the audience. So the first question we have is, yeah, we heard a lot about AVM. So what is AVM? And how does it work with BTC and Atomicals?
Absolutely. I'm going to start gradually sharing more about AVM, the Atomicals virtual machine, through the coming weeks. And I'll share slides and information in the coming days as well. But for the audience here, for this question, the AVM is a on-chain smart contract on BTC. So right now we have NFTs and tokens that are deployed on chain, and an indexer interprets the tokens, for transferring and minting. What the AVM does is it allows any developer to deploy a smart contract on BTC, like just a file, like a computer program, and then that smart contract is deployed on chain, and the Atomicals indexer will then interpret any function calls, like method calls to the contract, like we're all familiar with, say, Ethereum and Solidity. You can call the methods on the smart contract, and then the methods will execute according to the logic that is on chain. The indexer will produce a summary of the results. And so, for example, you could have a contract that says you need to deposit some ARC20 token. And then from there, that deposit, it could be staked, it could be converted to another ARC20 token, or any kind of logic you can imagine could follow from there. So contracts in AVM are depositable. In Ethereum, they're called payable methods, and in AVM, they're called depositable. We might call them payable at the end, and then they can absorb the tokens as like a token balance, and then you can have the logic that operates on them, and then ultimately withdraw them to the users. So this is a pure 100% on-chain solution. There's no side chain, and all we're doing is using the same Atomicals decentralized indexer to apply the rules of the smart contract program, perform the calculations, and then return the results. And so all the indexers can be in synchronized to each other to verify that the results are all the same. I won't reveal the programming language yet, but I assure you it will be a bit of a surprise to some and not a surprise to others. It will be Turing complete, meaning you have complete developer flexibility, and it avoids the gas problem in Ethereum. As you may know, Ethereum virtual machines have this problem with estimating gas and infinite loops. We completely avoid all that. We basically get our, how do you say, have our cake and eat it too. That's a high-level architecture, and these contracts are named, meaning you can refer to them by their contract ID or a unique name. So it could be like my contract could be like the name of your contract, and other users could call into that contract, authenticate, call the methods, perform their operations, and finalize. And once again, this basically turns all ERC20 tokens into the currency of Bitcoin. Not just like Ethereum can be deposited into like an Ethereum contract, but every ERC20 token becomes like a payable unit that can be used like Ethereum would be used in a Solidity contract. So yeah, that's it at a high level. I'm happy to go into any more other aspects.
That is so exciting. It just feel like an atomic bomb is dropped to the BTC ecosystem, because you mentioned a couple of keywords. And I really want to dive in, but today we have limited time only to respect your time as well. We know you've been really working hard on the coding, the designing, and so we'll probably leave some of the technical questions dive in later on when we have more details on these. But we do have more of the meta questions, because in Hong Kong we have this Web3 festival, and I myself attended quite a few Bitcoin related tech talk. Yes, the Bitcoin layer 2 become a buzzword, and I think they might be over 100 Bitcoin layer 2 projects. So the next question actually coming from another. So many projects claiming they are BTC layer 2. So how does AVM differentiate from those projects?
Awesome question. So we'll just put it like this: AVM is a layer 1 plus solution. This is not a layer 2 solution where the data lives off chain. It doesn't live on a second side chain. It doesn't have any of that. All the data and the computation state is all on Bitcoin 100%. So this is not a layer 2 solution. This is a fundamentally still a layer 1 solution. It is limited by the capacity of BTC, of course, the BTC block size and throughput, but all the state transitions are transparent and open and visible to everyone just by tracking Bitcoin. So AVM is different from the layer 2 solutions that we go straight to the source. I like to call it a layer 1 plus, because AVM can be used as a building block to create these layer 2 solutions. So the state being on Bitcoin means that this is a layer 1 solution, and everything is backed by the same immutable ledger that is the Bitcoin database itself. So the L2 solutions, it sounds very exciting what they're doing, and they can sure raise a lot of money. But why would you want second best when you could be the first? Like, why would you want to be on the second layer when you could just be on the first layer, and you could just work with Atomicals? And if you want to build a layer 2 or layer 3, whatever solution, you could just use the Atomicals virtual machine to go ahead and help you do layer 2 even better than they can probably do it. I mean, that's a big, bold claim. You'll have to see that in the future. But that's the difference. Like, we're a layer 1 solution, so we don't really care what the layer 2 solutions do. And we got some exciting things where Atomicals could be used to create side chains, to create roll-ups, but that's not our purpose here. We want a layer 1 solution that's 100% on-chain Bitcoin.
Awesome. Thank you for the explanation. I think it makes a lot of sense. The next question probably coming from the developer. You mentioned a lot about smart contract. So what are the use cases of the AVM smart contract? In other words, what application developer like us can build?
Sure. Okay, so the smart contracts are Turing complete. So that's a developer way of saying that anything you can imagine that you want, you can create. That's what that means. So these smart contracts will allow you to do things like create liquidity pools very easily. Like basically a couple lines of code, you can say, let's make a method call on the smart contract a depositable function or a payable in Ethereum terms. And then you can deposit any ERC20 into the internal table state. The balance of the tokens are held in the contract state. This could be NFTs. You could deposit as kind of like a staking mechanism. So once the tokens are inside the smart contract, then users can even call methods to do like atomic swaps between their own balances inside the smart contract. So you can imagine a Uniswap type contract which lives just on chain, and you have the Uniswap formula for managing the exchange rates between token pairs. So that's an example of one of the applications is liquidity pools. Uniswap can be very easily created. You could have any custom rules even for minting of NFT collections. You could have like custom payment rules to be able to mint an NFT that someone has to pay a certain amount or complete some puzzle or some task. It could be as complicated as playing a game of chess or a game of Monopoly on chain, and the winner of that game, according to the rules, gets awarded the NFT mint. It really can be that complicated. So yeah, we're going to be able to do all the basic, we'll say DeFi and social fi primitives on AVM, and I'm really excited to show you. It's going to be a first for Bitcoin. That's why we're pushing this so hard.
So exciting! We heard so much alpha, and if the new audience are builders like DeFi builder or you build social cloud, feel free and talk to us, please wallet, and also we follow the topical protocol. When AVM release, there will be unlimited possibility, so we can build this application. So the next question is when? What is the estimated time of the AVM release, and how far can? And also maybe this is prediction. How far can we see the first AVM application?
Right. So right now, the plan for a public beta is 1 month. So the target is the first week of May to have a functioning code that can run on testnet, that can be openly viewed by others and run on testnet within a month. That's the public beta, and we're going to take our time to deploy it and test it, because it's very important. Obviously, we get it all correct, but that's the first launch. And so the actual go live will be obviously after that, after the ecosystem participants, wallets, and markets have been able to integrate and test on their side. So there'll be a few weeks after that. But yeah, so we're hoping as fast as possible to get even an internal alpha between some select developers and partners, and then get a public beta within a month for us to see.
Awesome. Yeah, we know you work really hard to build the AVM. And yeah, any help you need, and just call out the community. We definitely want to have the ability to help out. So there's the next question. This question been raised quite a lot about the decimal splitting solution regarding the Atom ERC20 tokens. So yeah, people care about this, and yeah, how is it going so far? And maybe this kind of to the AVM release.
Absolutely. So actually, a couple of the community developers have taken the initiative to actually implement the token split. So a little background for everyone here. The Atomicals protocol is, because it is backed by Satoshis, you can't send below a certain amount because of the BTC dust limit, which is 546 Satoshis. So this causes issues for some tokens that you can't send less than a certain amount, and obviously causes upset to people, and it just limits the capabilities of a token. So this feature enables the ability to send down to one, like say 1 unit of a token, in not just the BTC dust limit. We call this the token split solution, or the partial coloring is another way we describe it. And so this has actually been implemented yesterday, over the past few days. It's a GitHub code review phase on our GitHub, and the open source community developer has taken the initiative. He's done a fantastic job on this, and so we're now writing tests. He's written a lot of tests. I'm reviewing it today, and we're going to have the token split solution launch prior to AVM. For testing, because we need a lot of time to test for the wallets and marketplaces to integrate. So you'll be able to send and receive, less than 546 units of a token, down to, like, say, 1 unit. This is something the community has wanted and brought up for many months, and it's, I'm aware it's been a big issue. But the final reason for this choice is that the partial coloring actually makes the AVM stronger, because the AVM, you can account for things like dynamic like slippage of token trades. The partial coloring and the split solution makes it very elegant to withdraw and deposit ARC20 tokens when you combine it with this token split. So rest assured, to anyone listening now and in the future that's worried about the token split, it is very much needed on its own, but it really enhances the Atomicals virtual machine system by being able to send tokens as low as 1 unit. So that's what we're working as fast as possible to finally get that to the community. I know it's been a long wait. I know it's been months of people wanting this. So thank you for your patience.
And thank you for sharing this wonderful news. Actually, I thought you have very high expectation on EVM, but it's just also we learned about this news about the splitting. I think it solved a lot of the concern the community has. Thank you so much. I think it's a testimony for involving the developer community. And I personally know some of the developers make this proposal. This is actually a really good news. So I think the last question on my list is this. You recently tweeted about the donation to the protocol. Can you share with us more background and what's your motivation? And this also please audience to kind of go out this and maybe say but want to learn a bit more about the motivation, and I can talk about the donation.
For sure. So a few days ago, I posted a donation fundraiser link to support the protocol development, and so the purpose of that is to basically raise funding to be able to continue the development for the very long term. One of the things I've been keen on is to never take venture capital money and to not do any kind of securities or investment raise of any kind. The reason for that, obviously, I think is obvious to many, but once you take big venture capital money, you no longer have control of your roadmap. You can no longer pivot so quickly. And it just, I think it really taints the product. So for me, just to be clear, I have enough capacity and time to deliver everything as it is, and I will deliver it as a work of passion and commitment, just like I delivered the original protocol with absolutely zero funding and bootstrapping the whole thing for a year prior to launch. So the purpose of the donation is to make sure, just to provide that element of safety in the coming years, to make sure that we do have a capital that can continue this for years. Because right now, I see a 2 to 3 year roadmap clearly laid out for me in front right now. So with the coming years, you never know, with uncertainty, a risk, cryptocurrency volatility. You don't know what that's going to do. So being able to call for donations now is an opportunity to secure some of that for the future development of the protocol. Now, one of the things is I believe AVM is going to be a game changer with the way indexing and smart contracts are done on Bitcoin. And I think the competitors are going to very quickly follow. And so with that, I want to offer the AVM interpreter code base, the copyright, and a recognition to all the donators that you donate. You can put your name and a message on the MIT open source license that you're going to be one of the original founding donation contributors. I know it's not it's not an NFT collection or token, but it is a symbolic representation of your contribution to this new smart contract paradigm on Bitcoin. So I want to offer that and have a dialogue with the community of what would you get value out of for contributing to the protocol development and helping to make this sustainable. So that's the goal now, and we're really grateful. I'm really grateful for all the contributions so far. It is actually really surprising, and really heartfelt that people see the value and are contributing because they believe in the Atomicals vision. So I want to thank you all right now for your support in any way. And if you can't donate you for whatever reason, or you just want to wait, I totally respect that, and you don't feel under any pressure or any obligation whatsoever at all. It is purely a voluntary value for value. Keep using the protocol, build on the protocol, spread the message of the protocol. Don't worry about donating at all. I don't want anyone to feel like they have to. Do it if you can. If you have extra you want to, please do. If not, do not worry about it. We're going to take this. We're gonna go together and create something amazing regardless. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. From the sign up here, actually, I chose quite a few audios coming from the BC, and I saw the email. Probably you say not taking only from the BC with this portal, but you're taking this uncommon route, which you represent us, 16 years ago now, so they just started this Bitcoin. So that's why the Atomicals community really believe the protocol is a people. And then we will try to raise the awareness and take this donation forward. So I think that's here's some many questions. So if any audience or here want to ask others, raise your hand. So can you say again the name and
I really sorry. I'm here for this event in India. Issues. Everybody sort of responsibility or is that you would possibly do.
Can you hear the questions?
Can you repeat the question for me, please?
My question is, apart from efficient is on
Sorry, the audio is not quite coming through again. Can you
Yeah,
try a different way?
Yeah, they are not in the back. It's asking about investment. Yeah, this gentleman could be an angel investor, syndicate investment. So, yeah, so they not taking any investments for exchange tokens or shares or markets, but donation is wrong. Hi, Arthur. Hi, Arthur. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yes.
Hi. First, appreciate all the hard work you done since launch. I am I'm a Atomicals supporter and also the Atom holder. And I got a question. I already know the area of work, how it's work. So my question would be, if AVM is realized as we expected, if AVM really down that we can stay borrowing lending on the L1, on the Bitcoin L1s. Will you worry about, there are a lot of Bitcoin L2s now the projects raising 10 million, 100 million funding. And if ABM realized it's like literally slapping in the face. I mean, will you be worried about that Atomical ecosystem now attacked by them? Yeah, I think it comes to the VC funded project and community driven project. So yeah, it's a good question. We got that right.
Right. So your question is that that the VC funded companies could copy, or either they would compete very viciously to try to copy and to advance. I mean, it could go both ways, right? It could be that this Atomicals AVM ends up actually like shaming everybody, right? Shaming the hundreds of millions of dollars in L2 when we end up just doing it with something open source and bootstrapped, which is very possible, right? Look at Ordinals itself. How many billions of dollars were thrown at Bitcoin tokenization prior to Ordinals, right? So Ordinals is a story like that already, and Atomicals certainly, I can certainly see a possibility where the AVM actually becomes the the standard for this, and of course, wherever there's money and value, there will certainly be someone launching some token scam to capitalize on it, to do a variant of that. You could just see by people just launching different types of memes, they try to do the same thing with memes. And I'm certain that these companies with a big venture capital raise will certainly try to also do it. I can also see that will happen, and we're just going to have to see how it plays out to see who wins in the end and how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. Yeah, I really looking forward to ABM and whole Atomical ecosystem.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your question. So we got a lot of people back here offered by first up. So for those who can ask a question, here for you, thank you. Thank you very much.
Any more questions? I saw some people raise hand before. Any more questions?
So if you like this bag or you reach,
so there is a question submitted in the Telegram group. So the question regarding does the AVM implementation require the scaling, Bitcoin scaling? I think you referred to in the previously mentioned scaling Bitcoin. So the question is, does this AVM implementation depend on Bitcoin scaling?
Good question. So the question is, yes, does Bitcoin need to scale for this to work? And the answer is ultimately Bitcoin does need to scale for any layer one solution. That's you need to scale Bitcoin ultimately with more block space, with more transactions, with lower fees. And so I mentioned earlier, AVM can be used to build a layer 2 solution. It can be used to build a bridge to side chains to scale on a layer 2 chain. And I think that there's viable, there's a case to be made that you should do that. But at the core, Bitcoin itself must scale. As more people around the world use Bitcoin as money and more people use Bitcoin as smart contracting, the block space becomes more important. So my goal here to bring what we all want is smart contracts on Bitcoin, and by having AVM, we're going to create extreme pressure on block space. We're actually going to fill the blocks up with smart contract programs that I think is going to force Bitcoin to scale, because the demand will be tremendous and the miners need the profit for the security budget, and these smart contracts on layer 1 are the only way to secure the miners' future. Layer 2 solutions are vampires that take the fees away from Bitcoin, decreasing the security budget of Bitcoin itself. So AVM is here to try to secure the miner security budget. And with that, yes, we're going to need to scale Bitcoin. And we will.
Great, thanks for the explanation. I think, yeah, so it's very refreshing to hear some other perspective. Yeah, let me translate back to English and Chinese. 就是在座的有什么问题啊，可以用中文提问，我这边可以做翻译。刚才因为都是用英文啊，然后有中文，Aaron 刚刚有没有问题要说？
您这么说嘛，就是之前 Author 曾经发Author 曾经发推文啊，大家还是说 Author 向你请教个问题，就是说你呼吁大家提高这个区块的这个发展意识嘛，这个其实这个跟我们其实觉得好像最近因为这方面的讨论挺多的，在这个社区好像跟这个大的趋势不是特别的，我也觉得不是很匹配，就是我想听听 Author 是因为在最近的开发的过程中遇到的什么就觉得一定会解决，一定只有这个方案才能解决的问题，还是什么一个考虑的问题大区块对。
对，然后我基于大区块补充一个，就是对于现在的 Atomicals 的这个申请就能跟非常的结合。
Yeah, so this is actually a very good question. I'll come back to into one. So probably the one answer. So Aaron, also a very active community member, asked about in the previous video talk about the bigger block size Bitcoin is required. So you can experience because it's not kind of fit into the consensus in the Bitcoin narrative, and so we wonder if this because of when implementing AVM, and there are some obstacles. So bigger block size is needed to unblock the development. So that's the first question. And block one also a differential researcher. So he asked about the OP10, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
This question is regarding how do you see the OP10 because this is another topic in the Bitcoin. So how do you see the relevance of OP10 in EVM? So this is kind of two questions, but kind of in the same because a lot of discussion in the Bitcoin. So let everybody is kind of long answer. I will finish. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Okay.
Go ahead.
So it cut out earlier, but I'll repeat what I heard and then I'll answer the question. So I heard, how does OPCAT and BitVM fit into the picture of AVM? I think that's the question. So I'll talk about OPCAT and BitVM here. So the Atomicals virtual machine is, even though it's a layer one data solution, it's an interpreted at the indexer level. So we don't actually need the capabilities of Bitcoin layer one because we're just treating Bitcoin layer one as a data and interpreting smart contracts ourselves. Now, OPCAT and BitVM are very important still because OPCAT allows us to do covenants. It allows us to do bridges and an advanced logic enforced by miners. So BitVM and OPCAT are so important because Atomicals can leverage those layer one miner-backed contracts. It can leverage them as locking scripts in the UTXO. So then anything that Bitcoin can't do, AVM can take over at the indexer level. So we still need a very strong base to keep advancing. So I want to say that OPCAT is a very critical opcode for Bitcoin. We absolutely need OPCAT for the future. AVM doesn't need it, but the things you can do with miner-backed covenants is extraordinary. So yeah, OPCAT is important. BitVM research I'm watching very closely. I have my own research I'm doing along the line of miner-backed smart contracts. But just to be clear, AVM doesn't need those things. but AVM will get the benefit of those things as they enhance. AVM will get more powerful with more of those miner-backed constructs, but we don't need it fundamentally for what we're doing because we're just interpreting the data at the indexer. So I hope I answered the question about OPCat and BitVM. What was the other? Was there another question I didn't quite catch about?
Yeah, the answer to the whole question from your perspective, I think, yeah, thank you so much. I think it's already past more than 30 minutes. So I want to respect your time and also that you can go back to writing the code of EVM. So another the answer is on the 9th. Author going to give a talk on the Web3 Festival Bitcoin substage. And yeah, we'll make a other again. Thank you again for your time and you bring so much good news and yeah, we will definitely hopefully see you soon on event like this or on the space. There are so many other questions that everyone for other events.
Thank you so much, everyone. Much. We will keep in touch. Thank you, everyone.